Steve Phelps says, I don't think the answer is more horsepower because more horsepower is expensive. Brett, you're on a roll today. Go for it.
Boy, I'm going to sound real dumb.
You cool
here.
enough?
That won't be the first time.
We'll let you know.
I thought our motors were capable of producing massive horsepower right now. I thought the EFI kind of kept the number down. Is that somewhat accurate? Help me not sound but so dumb.
I wish Dysinger or
FaceTime
Andy Graves were here to kind of help me out here, but as I understand, it's not too far out of reach. But anytime you increase horsepower, I wouldn't say the reliability, but the lifetime of the engine is going to go down, right? And so I think with the target number of races that NASCAR is wanting us to hit, the amount of races we run with these engines.
So I'm not lying.
That would change.
I'm not lying.
I'm going to be honest. I can't say with 100% certainty that you could.
I was told by an engine builder a while back, not like a Doug Yates, but like a guy that works in an engine shop, that we run the most expensive 600 horsepower motor in the world. And I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I was also told that it was capable of running way more horsepower than what we do. Listen, fans want it. Here's my struggle with it. Freddie and I right now could leave the studio and we could go out and we can afford at our salaries, not yours, Tyler. CJ can't afford this. He's in a Tesla. We can afford to go out and buy
That's all I got, man.
a car with 650 horsepower. So the Superman mentality that I had growing up with race car drivers driving these crazy amounts of horsepower, i.e. Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd, whoever you want to name that drove a 900-plus horsepower car. Even you, when you did an Xfinity Series winning a championship, I miss that as a fan. So when I hear people of the media, people in the industry, people in NASCAR saying, fans don't care how many horsepower it is. Yes, I do, because I have a massive respect. I mean, listen, I was at an FFA convention in Indianapolis. These kids walked up to the car, and they started asking me questions. What's your gear ratio? What's your horsepower? What's your transmission? What's all these things? And they're looking at me and they go, man, my uncle's dirt car has more horsepower than 600 horsepower. I don't know what to say to that. It does take away the Superman effect that I think we have. Now, listen, here's what it doesn't do. It doesn't lower corner speeds. Our corner speeds are through the freaking roof. What would it do? It would make our straightaway speeds higher and make you actually slow down to brake for the corner, make the corner. So for me, I am a pro, and we've said on the show, we beat the horse to death, literally. Give more horsepower. And so if when we have the Steve O'Donnells of the world, the Steve Phelpses of the world say, well, we're considering it, we're looking at it, and then you say this, fans don't care how expensive it is. For you to say it's more expensive, guess what? We don't care. Fans don't care. Fans want to see you guys driving 1,000 horsepower, 215 miles an hour down the straightaway Michigan race cars.
Yeah. No, certainly. I feel like it was a month or two ago. I blew through from 20. It was one of those years in there we had all the horsepower and all the downforce. I was watching qualifying laps, and man, that was exhilarating to watch. And I'm like, we're still on the edge now, but there are moments there's moments we have in the car, and with how sensitive this car is, from the naked eye, it's really hard to see it. A lot of times when someone has a moment in the corner, you have to see the SMT data or the Motec data, if you will, in post to see, oh my God, that guy, you just about wrecked in the middle of 1 and 2. Otherwise,
you just wrecked. You just didn't wreck.
It's hard to see it because we're having to think so far ahead with this car. But I think again, this is all kind of in sim. There was, a couple months ago, just for fun, I asked some of the guys, 23 of them, let's just, there was a weird knob we could kind of work on to just basically increase the power of the car by 150 horsepower. Didn't really change much. We're talking the amount of off-throttle time was reduced very little.
Because
the lap time
downforce
dropped
is so high?
very little. No,
I think there's a lot of things added to it.
I think it's the drag of the car, the min speed of the car. The car has a lot of scrub.
So how many horsepower would you need to make a difference?
A lot.
That's what I think.
I think you need to be above 1,000 horsepower to
I think that's the thing.
really
I think that
move that needle, and that's a
big jump.
very.
To
the
go to
small
that,
jump,
I can
small jumps
believe
are
that.
that can happen more short term. When you're talking massive jumps in power,
I think that's what they, in my opinion, that's what they need to do though. Is just, all right, we're gonna go test, and we're gonna go with take Tyler, and Tyler's gonna have a motor with 750 horsepower, and you're going to go there and like because what everybody does now is they go to the test and you see I think it was Bush the other day gets out and says well it's not that much different the test at New Hampshire like Bell's like I don't notice a difference and guys are like well that's that's terrible but now if we took you to this test and you did all right here's 150 more horsepower and you go out there and go well that wasn't much different now that's what people want to hear like not that they want to hear that but they just want to see. All right, let's try it. If it sucks, we'll go by and we'll figure it out another way. But like they just seem like they're so reluctant to just what here we're going to give you enough rope to hang yourself with. Here's 800 horsepower. Oh, it doesn't make a difference. What do you know? Yeah. Now we still got to go back to the drawing board. Like just at least appease people.
Let me ask you this.
Here's one example.
Ask you this: you're driving. What if they took shifting away and gave more horsepower to short track like Martinsville? You think that would make a difference?
I mean, the amount of horsepower we would have to have if they took shifting away would be, it would have to jump a bunch because if we were locked into fourth gear or whatever gear it would be, third gear, whatever it is, for us to have the amount of power to spin the tires at, I don't know, let's just say it's 5,000 RPMs if you're locked into just one gear.
Yeah.
I mean, the peak would have to be so much higher than it is now. So that is the that's the struggle, right? Like.
I agree with you.
We
I don't
need
think
more
it's just
power,
motor.
but if we take away shifting, now we have even less power in the middle of the corner. Like,
yeah.
What was it? At Martinsville, at the tail end of that run, it was actually kind of wild. Like, we were starting to, at the end of the race, have enough fall off to where staying in fourth or whatever gear it was faster. But, you just go in the middle of the corner, 100 and some laps on tires, 115, 120 laps on tires. You just punch it in, fourth gear or whatever that. If you just stayed in one gear.
Yeah.
That many laps on tires with this newer, softer tire that we ran, you would just punch it. And that was after 100 and let's say 15 laps of downshifting, spinning the tires, all that.
You can still do that.
Yeah, the amount of power would have to be very.
So this is completely opposite.
I think it just starts with tire.
That's my thing. Is I think it's if you're going to give them horsepower, I think the tire. They made a bigger tire for this car, right? So in the that's one of the things that I don't think we needed was a bigger tire because. Everyone in the beginning, Denny always complained about the corner speed. Well, if you get more tire, they're going to fly through the middle of the corner already.
Yeah.
And I think, that tires are a lot of grip. You give them, I don't know the exact diameters of how much bigger they are per tire, but I'm sure that little bit is an astronomical. Thanks.
Astronomical.
Too many monster things here. Too many beasts.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So, and if you give them more grip and take away horsepower, and plus with the way these cars are with the downforce and everything, I just think it's going to be hard to get back to where we're never going to get back to where we were. It's not going to go back that far. But I do think a little bit of adjustment with the motor, a little bit with tire, a little bit, and if you do 5% here, 5% there, 5% another, I think you can get it better, which I think they're creeping in on it.
How much would it mean to the fans to check the box that we tried more horsepower at a test?
I feel like it would make them feel better, but I feel like the worst thing what would be worse is if we just add 100 or 150.
Got to add more.
It would have to be a ridiculous amount.
I just think that
if we're going to go
even
down
though
that
we
road,
know it's not going to work, like just say
150.
150. Like
I don't think that will work.
It'll work. But I'm saying just say, okay, you guys have been asking for more horsepower. Here's 150, and this cost X more to get the 150, and it doesn't make a difference. Now the drivers are going to tell you we need to go to 1,000. That's another 250. That's X amount more money. I think just appeasing the fans of, hey, at least we've tried it. Like here's we're gonna go. We're gonna try it. Like
let the fans know.
Hold on a minute. Don't just appease the fans. Appease the driver. Appease the drivers.
Yeah.
The
drivers should know. Like if Tyler knows,
Tyler does. It's not reality,
not
right?
Reality, but
it makes sense when you think about it, right? Like, okay, if we're gonna eliminate shifting to try and help short track racing,
the dumbest thing I read all winter on Twitter is
God.
if you downshift, you get black flagged. What the are you talking about?
Somebody said that like a fan?
Well, no. What was it? What, Bob's tweet? Like
it wasn't Bob's. It was a fan's tweet I saw. So, they should just black flag them if they downshift.
Did you block them? That's the main thing. Did you block that
No,
guy?
I didn't block
I'm
him.
sure he got blocked. Trust me.
For sure.
That's an interesting idea. So like, I was asking Billy, like, so are you going to call me to pit road every time and then just, call me off after I downshift? Will I get away with it?
Yeah. Pit this time. Never mind.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. Where? What? You almost got wrecked somewhere, Conpit. Was that Donaldson? Dumb.
Must have been his fault.
It was
He's laughing
You
way
know,
too
that
hard.
was, yeah, that was really dumb. That was all me.
You
for
ruined
sure.
the fucking forever.
I did.
Oh,
Dan,
Forever
4.
my fault.
Forever your fault.
You ruined that in 4, man.
Oh man. You know,
he's gonna
that whole
motherfuck you on the
situation.
Daytona
what do you
500
get Newman for?
broadcast.
What do you get Newman for Christmas?
I didn't get him anything, honestly. Yeah, unless Newman's like on the long term like plan to like get back at me, I don't actually think he's too upset about it. But because I ran him the other day and he was asked me about Bo getting into racing. He's like, if you need any help, just let me know. I'm like, oh,
He's a good
okay.
guy.
But yeah, I messed that up really bad. I'm like, I saw a 4 coming. I'm like, I gotta get to pit road, and then I look at my camera. I'm like, oh, 51 coming hot.
Coming in.